Greetings from the Eau Claire Marathon start area. You are at the farmer's market. I'll flip the video around here in a second. You will be able to see your starting line. It's the crest of the bridge, essentially. And I'll be taking you through a guided tour. Today is April 6, 2024. I'll be running the route, driving and biking most of it. About every mile, I will stop, record 30 seconds to a minute of video, give you an idea of what the mile holds for you. And I chose a nice, beautiful day. There's no guarantee in the state of Wisconsin that you're going to have that on race day, so dress accordingly. So what you're looking at here is the where the merchandise can be found. In the background, you'll see the bridge over the Chippewa River. That's the first of 8 bridges. I'll cut them off for you. And this will be a buzz on race day. You'll see all kinds of activity, obviously. So the center of the bridge is your target. Center of the bridge is your starting line. We are on course. You'll be coming back this way. Here's your first turn. Male Health Clinic. Hopefully you don't need to visit them later. You'll be seeing views of Carson Park over here. If you're wondering what the waterway is, that is Half Moon Bay. It used to hold logs back in the logging industry. Mile 1's complete. Hopefully you've settled in as you are running through a lot of where the university students live. University housing, I call it, even though it's not university houses. Get a glimpse of Carson Park to your right. You're on 6th Avenue. You're approaching 1st Avenue, and you will see this at mile 25/26. This is the last sprint to the end, basically. And your final bridge crossing is to the left. We'll be heading that way. Off to your right, you'll be coming out of the university and heading on that way. Even though you're still on your 1st and 2nd mile here, that's the bridge to home. It'll be across that bridge. Hang a quick left. You could probably see the finishing crowd in front of you. It'll be your final sprint. So just a foreshadowing here. With views of the Pablo Center, which is also called the Confluence area. This is where the Eau Claire and Chippewa rivers meet. You'll be looking back toward where you started. You can see a railroad bridge in front of you, and behind that another bridge, and that is where you started. You'll be heading down the trail in front of us. I'm not taking my car down there, but you'll be heading that way until you get back towards those bridges where you'll meet your first hill, but we'll get there. You're closing in on mile 3. If you are a spectator, that is the bridge where we started. You'll be Coming underneath that Madison Street Bridge where the Little Caesars is, there's a brewing project back there. We're also brewing beer here. There's a great place for spectators in that parking lot over there. You just walk across the bridge, join up with your runner over there, and you'll get a chance to see him for the second time after the start. Pro tip if it's raining under the bridge. Wisconsin loves its beer. Still along the river trail here. Chippewa River on your right. Get your first glimpse of the High Bridge, so called because it's very high up. It's an old railroad bridge we're lucky to have restored. This is your winding path up first to the hill. I can tell you when you get to the top of the hill, you're not done climbing, but the steepest part is done at the top. You'll be taking a quick left and then a quick right, and then you'll climb a little bit further. There'll be people at the top of the hill telling you where to go. This is hill 1 of 3. It's a little bit more climbing that way, not too much, almost there. Just a quick look back from where you came and where you need to go. You are now at the top of the hill and you got a little bit further to go here. Sorry folks, you got to come up the this path here. I didn't mark the course. I'm not sorry for anything. So, as I mentioned, you got a bit more climbing to do. There's essentially the top of the hill. There's a little bit more uphill, but it's not tremendous, honestly. You got a beautiful view. If you're struggling, take a look to the right. And guess what? You get some downhill now. You'll see some neighbors come out to support you over here, which is always fantastic to see. More views of the Chippewa. And right in front of you is the official top of the hill. And what goes up must come down. You are now starting mile 5 right around here. We're gonna skip that and just head straight on down the hill. I believe there's an aid station coming up here. A water stop at the bottom of the hill or near it. So if you blew out some miles back there, it's time to get some back. This is the path to do it. Nice little turning, beautiful little park over here, Domer Park. I believe that's where our water stop is. This is the North Crossing. You can see a runner here already. This is the path you'll be on right here. You'll just pass the Smile Cam, place to get your picture taken if you like that kind of thing. Another crossing of the Chippewa. This can usually be pretty windy. Looking ahead a bit, the marathoners and half marathoners will be separating. You'll be on the trail here to the right. Looking ahead, also you will be seeing an aid station on your right on the trail. Half marathoners will be going to the right and not to be seen here, but you will be crossing underneath this road surface, hanging a left if you're a marathoner. So that's what we shall do. There's your under tunnel at the North Crossing. If you are a relay runner, you should be anticipating dropping here and picking up the next runner if you're going to do one segment. Mile 7 is just ahead. I personally like this part of the course. It's pretty flat. It tends to be cooler because you're in the river valley. Chippewa River is on your left here. You'll be heading up river and down through the wells area. The wells kind of start right around here. We will be running through the wells. It features a trail run, so it's about a 5K running through the wells. Don't quote me. This is where the UW Eau Claire men's and women's cross country and high schoolers run through there for their cross country. And another glimpse with no leaves on the trees, you get to see the Chippewa River again. And this is where the freshwater supply for the city of Eau Claire, and thus the name the wells. Hopefully if you're being paced, you're able to stay with your pacer. Chippewa River off to the left, some parks. Great road surface to run on, nice and flat, no imperfections, not many. Very slight incline coming up, but nothing you can't handle, haven't done before. That was mile 8 on my watch. I have this at about mile 8.6. This gets to be a little confusing if you've not been here before or didn't study the map. You'll be turning here shortly into a cross-country track, basically. So it's a gravel road. If it's been raining or snowing, it could be muddy, but it's not bad. I wouldn't say that it's terrible, honestly. And you get a glimpse of the first turn in your second hill, the biggest of the hills. The question always comes up, what to wear for shoes, right? You're going to be on probably a 5K course of dirt. And so I can just tell you that this is traveled by the city on trucks. There's only vehicles allowed back here. So usually pretty good hard pack surface, but doesn't mean there can't be mud if it's going to be raining or snowing. So let's take a look. First thing I'd like you to notice is you're going to be going down a hill up ahead of you. One that you were going to be returning on, so it's important to know. I would say there's two hills. The one we'll be going down, obviously coming back on, and then there's another one just up here. As you head down this hill, you'll be taking a right into kind of going back the direction to which you came, except you're going to be on the trail. Like to come back here and cheer people on, so it won't be solo. You'll have people cheering. It's a great place to kind of spectate. Not sure how you get back here. There are some paths that take you off the road that shoots pretty much you've ran parallel to get here. Hello. Road surface looks pretty good today. My money's on street shoes, no trail shoes. If you got a shoe you like for trail and street, then go for it, but I think you'd be fine with a street shoe back here. See that big thing, whatever that is, the city. It's basically a quarter mile to the turnaround. Alright, it's time to turn around. see the cluster of buildings in front of you, that is your sign to turn. You'll see the cones, the people. You're not going to miss it. My watch shows 1.3 miles back from where you came. And if you can see the map here to the left, the purple red line, that's the road you ran on. You're parallel to that. So you just come on back. Alright, the hill you came up, the small one, which might feel like a lot in this part of the race, you get to go back down, and you got about a third of a mile until you leave the park again. The wells. What would be a downhill if you didn't get an uphill to go with it? See you at the next hill. You are at approximately 11.5 miles. You have a hill to climb. My watch says, what is it, 418 feet of ascent. So we'll figure out how high this hill goes here in a moment. I would stay to the left side of this hill. The road will be blocked off because at the top of the hill you'll be turning left. Also be prepared when you get to the top of the hill, you get a big gush of wind. You're at the top of the airfield. You'll see the direction of the wind if you want by looking at the windsock. There's also airport tower. Again, stay left, you'll be turning left. Relay people, you'll be picking up your next leg here. I believe there's a relay, a first aid, water, and bananas right up here. How bananas is that? Mile 12, right around here. And it says 486 feet. So I don't know how many, I'll have to do the math later, but it's about 80-foot hill, I would say. Kind of a sleepier part of the race course. It's just a quiet neighborhood. You've turned away now from the airport and where there's no trees to more trees, so you're a bit more protected in here, which is nice. If you're worried about pace, guess what? You get another downhill coming up. You might see a neighbor or two with their coffee in hand watching you. Hopefully you're having a good race. My eyes don't deceive me, we are going down a hill. Chance to get some of those pace miles back if you have a goal pace in mind. You'll be coming back on this elevation on the maybe mile 15, 16, I forget, we'll get there. At the bottom of the hill, we'll be taking a right. Views of the Chippewa. personally one of my favorite parts of the course. It's very quiet back here. You can see bicyclists, you'll see very few cars. Good chance to settle in after that downhill. You see some ponds, you see some turtles sunning themselves, maybe an eagle soaring. Definitely songbirds. So if you get headphones on, maybe time to listen to some birds. It's about a 2.25 mile stretch before the next turn, major turn. With the Chippewa River on your left, you're about mile 14.5. You'll be heading this way, and then up around the bend. Your next hill is coming up shortly. It's like mile 15, 16. So just brace yourself for that. But guess what? That's your last hill. So there's a small little hill around mile 19, but nothing you can't handle. Honestly, I walked it last year, and I think that was a good choice. Person ahead of me, I caught after I started running again. I never saw him again, so there's a strategy for you. No shame in that. Got it done. Mile 15 right there. Kind of get your first glimpse of that hill. It turns, it goes up, and then it flattens, and then it climbs a bit more. Looks like that runner just got toasted. Just a long, slow grinder. If you keep in math, we're wrapping around the airport. I would say you're done with the hill right here. The last of them. I have some more good news. You are running south, mostly south. The rest of the time, you'll be heading a little bit east as well, but if the wind is out of the north, guess what? The wind is going to be at your back for the next probably 5 miles, 4 or 5 miles. Mile 16. You're in Sundet in Clubhouse. Some of these streets are named numbers as well as names, so sometimes hard to keep track, but I think it's also called 105th Street. You're about mile 16.5, so you got about less than 10 to go. This is the trail you'll be on, let's see, all the way down until you cross the Eau Claire River again. So probably 4 to 5 more miles. I'm not gonna ride my bike on that. Not the most interesting piece of the course, but my suggestion is to find a runner and pick them off if you can, or pair up with somebody just to keep your pace up. Again, you'll most likely have the wind at your back. No guarantees on race day. I'll see you again here probably mile 20. That's the trail right over there. don't know if you can pick it up on the camera. All these intersections will be protected, so no need to super pay attention, but the intersections do come out and go back in again. So nice and flat, nice and flat. A little bit of downhill. You're going to be heading to a river valley, so you will get a net downhill, and hopefully with any luck the wind will be at our backs. You are at the Eddy Lane intersection, approximately 18 3/4 miles in. Again, all this roadway will be protected on race day. Stay on the bike path. You're about mile 19. This is the north crossing. You're going to stay on the path here, where the biker and the runner are going to see here in a moment. I like to think of it as fast and flat. The water station you would have just passed. The next milestone is at 19.8. You'll be picking up relay number 3. That's also a great opportunity to pick up some new energy. Your half marathoners, depending on your pace as a marathoner, will be rejoining you. So it'll be about their miles 6.5 or 7. They pop out of this neighborhood onto your right on Redwood. So half marathoners, you'll be coming up that hill and heading this way, and you'll be rejoining the marathoners. All this builds to heading back downtown. Nothing much to see here, honestly, folks. Little small uphill rise. You might take it out of your legs after 20 some miles, 19, 20 miles. You'll have some spectators up here. There'll be bundles of energy with the half marathoners and the relay people. You'll be heading that way down the river trail. Go ahead. River trail's down here. If you notice, it's going downhill. That's always a beautiful thing. Kind of down in the valley, protected from the wind a little bit. And you'll have a tunnel. You'll see right up here. And we'll be heading straight across this Eau Claire River on Hastings Way. So, a couple intersections to navigate. You got it. Down across the bridge having just come down off the Fairway Hill. We'll be crossing another bridge. Oh boy, this is the Boyd Park Bridge. It's not typically very slippery, but it can be, so something to be mindful of. It'll be a quick succession of bridges. Upstream and downstream. We're heading downstream. If you're wondering what this building is, it's called Banbury Place. It used to be a Royal Tire Factory. Before that, it was, I think, a sawmill. Probably 1800s. There's sometimes a smell in the air. That is carbon black. They make tire products here, so you'll smell that, perhaps. Hopefully not for long. Start to see some of the sculptures around town. This is approximately mile 22. This is Galloway Street, more of the Banbury Place. Don't be confused, don't go straight here. You want to take a left at the bridge. This is the S Bridge, so named for its shape. Crossing the bridge that way as well. As soon as you cross, there's a quick left to go underneath, following along the river. I think there's a timing mat here as well as maybe some nutrition. Don't quote me. Jesus Christ. Across the bridge, these cones will be there still. So don't be confused, there is an actual turning cone. You're going down that way. You will have come from that direction and you're heading down to the river. Got about 5K to go, folks. I call it the cruel 5K because you're going to see people ahead of you. And you're like, where are they going? They're on your race course. So you'll be following, heading up to the top deck of that bridge on Barstow. And the finish line is just a hair's breadth away. But you're not done yet. So that's a lighted bridge. Actually, the lighted bridge is ahead of us. That's a bouncy bridge. I don't know the name of that. And you gotta take a quick right turn so you come back to our Barstow Street. Not too confusing. Just gotta come back up to the road surface. We are now on Barstow. Mile 23, I think. The energy should start picking up now. The race finish is about that way, about 1 block over, so you'll hear some people if you're mid to back of the pack runner like you will find the energy to be welcoming. There will be people lined across the street here. Music playing, people dancing. They're excited for you. Once again, we're on Barstow. You're going to see high energy in this area. It'll last for probably a mile. The finish line is just 1 block to your right, but you're not there yet. You're at mile 23, so less than 5K to go though. You've done that numbers of times. If you're in need of running gear, shoes, hats, socks, you name it, they got it. Blue Ox. Right here on your left, right on Barstow. Check them out. Again, you'll see peekaboos of the finish 1 block over. Some nice stately homes down here in the historic third ward. University isn't too far away. You're gonna see some people handing out glasses of wine here shortly. You just accept at your own risk. I think they may have Fireball for those who are not into wine. Take a right on Rust. I think they call themselves the winos. Some people want wine at 10 in the morning. I don't know. We're approaching my favorite part of the course. Number 1 for me. You're going to encounter all the youth and energy the university holds. And the Blue Gold Marching Band, the BMB. In a typical year, there's 500 students in the band, more maybe. And so, will they all be out playing instruments? Depends on the weather. Depends on whether they're awake at 7, 8 in the morning. But you'll get good representation, and they may be playing music. So watch for that. It's pretty exciting, actually. The views of the university in front of us. This is where you can expect an energy pickup. You can almost smell the finish from here. You got less than, I don't know, not even a 5K left. Don't make a mistake and go up that big old hill. Straight. Might be able to hear the band from here. We are now on the university campus. I call it the turn to home. It's not the last turn, but you are essentially done here. Centennial Hall on your left. If you're struggling, really struggling for parking in the mornings of the marathon, you could come over here and park, but you're a mile and a half from the finish, so. University to your left, you'll be crossing underneath the University of Wisconsin sign and heading over the bridge. We'll take you there. This is not your last bridge. I think this is bridge 8 of 9. This can be very cold in the winter as the wind whips down the Chippewa. You're looking upstream. And if your memory serves you, this is First Avenue right here, and you will have dumped out on this around mile 1 as you headed back down that way. Having crossed the University Bridge off to your left, we are now rejoining the course on First Ave. Again, you've run this before. You're into mile 25. Closing in on 26. You're going to see a lot of people cheering here. This street is be packed with people cheering you on, so that's great. Now, take a quick right on Lake Street. Mile 26, I think, is right on the bridge. A marathon is 26.22 miles. You may have already run that amount, depending on how you took the tangents and what watch you have. And then we are going to be taking a left to home, Graham's Avenue, on the other side of the bridge of Lake Street Bridge. Is Graham. We'll take a left, and very few people are allowed down here. If you have a finishing bib, then you will be allowed, but generally the public is not allowed to come down here. It's just for finishers. People are now, if you got a sprint left in you, this is where the people like to bring it down. Should be seeing the finishing gate. I'd estimate it to be, I don't know, 2/10 of a mile. You're definitely going to have crowds here. My watch says it's 15/100 of a mile to the finish from here. Lots of crowds. Get ready to put your game face on. Don't forget to pick up your medal at the end. Great place to meet friends and family. I don't think parking is going to be a thing down here. The garage is right in front of us in the background there. It's a great place. That is the finish right here.